89 on up, homies, the show where you gon' get Cali history. It's told with respect and dignity. Spoken by Jihad so vividly. He's taking over the industry, giving y'all some download imagery. Damn you, if you ain't hitting them likes, come on, subscribe. Check out the channel and I bet it will make you decide to tune in every chance you get. It's lit, and some of y'all can learn a bit from this gangster shit.
YouTube, what it do, loved ones? You know the motto, if you can, after the story, go over there, hit us with a like, which is a thumbs up, and that'll let us know we kicking our stuff. I want to thank the homeboy G. Lee Deuce for the intro from the legendary Monumental Historical Hip Hop album, Banging on Wax. You can reach him on Instagram at Solid from Day One. YouTube, what it do, loved ones? Today's topic is about peace. Could peace work in this time of 2024 versus in my time, late 80s, 87, 88, 89? What's the possibilities of a new era carrying out peace in an orderly fashion, homie? And the young homeboy kind of was asking me, and we was going back and forth saying, what's the difference of it happening today than happening in my time? So here's my narrative and my personal opinion, homie. Coming on, when I came on in them late 80s, dog, with this blood thing, we wasn't a million deep like how we are now on all platforms, music-wise, you know, industry-wise, homie. The homies was real short, real slim, and this blood and Crip thing was still at an all-time height, homie, along with the hustle crack epidemic, homie. All that's at a all-time height. So therefore, the violence is at an all-time height. And by us not being a million deep within the powerful blood community, we value one another, homie. And this is just my personal narrative from a young homeboy to my age, giving my analysis, homie. You know, by the power and the blood cord not being superly deep. Every blood member pushing a cherry flag honored one another damn near, homie, how I seen it. So a death of a blood, whether if it was from the east side to the west side, was impactful to the B team because homies weren't superly deep. So a homie from every hood knew another homie, from penitentiary, YAs to juvenile hall. You know, this is what I'm seeing coming up, homie, how I'm being introduced, you know, throughout my time banging, from homies introducing me, from homies having times of gelling together or action in combat with one another against opposition of the Crips back then. So my era come on as a recruit generation. We come in as full-fledged banging against the Crips, for the Crips still trying to show they strength on the Bloods, homie. So peace is way out back then, homie. And then dudes gotta remember us new, fresh blood that was coming on this blood thing. Our jobs was totally just to get cracking. You know, if you ain't banging, if you ain't getting cracking, then you in the way. And then you also gotta understand the dudes of my era right now, that's Crips, Blood, solid soldiers in their turf. We was babies, we was kids, homie. So we just carrying out acts of our older homeboys from our neighborhoods, homie. So even if we had a cousin or a family member and we was blooding or you was cripping, some of us couldn't even really do that mixing inside our turfs like that. So that kept a level of peace down in certain turfs, homie. So with that being said, with the new blood coming on in my time, thinking about peace was far out because this stuff was so intense, homie. So bam, we banging, we young, we just the fall guys and just the dudes that get sent out to make the hood stay going around, homie. So now 92 hit, 92, 93 hit with Rodney King being a motorist in traffic, getting pulled over, rights violated, and mixed in the streets. Not social media wise, but it was able to be captured on VHS tape and shown in front of the world to us on television, homie. And that started a social community uproar, like how it was supposed to be originally pushed from the beginning of this Crippin' Blood thing. A lot of dudes tried to rally around that to push it. Now, me being a young homeboy back then and now me being an older G homie now looking at it, time didn't change. You know, a lot of them homies that was on the older homies that was on the front line, battle line, pushing it for what they believe was the turf, sending us to keep the hood being posted on the map along with their contribution. They're older now, homie. Them the dudes that's Pretty Boy them age and other G homeboys, you know, from this Piru Blood thing age, homie. And now the homies being senior, older, active, homies still, what I mean active, still in the community, helping to bring a change. Their minds is changed to bring a change. And now the dudes that they were sending to keep the hood platformed on a certain level, we old enough now to have a voice that tell some of the OG homeboys older than us, nah, homie, that ain't cool, or nah, homie, this how you should get at the young homies, or nah, homie, it could go like this, you know, because it's and they have a open mind and not in a delusional mindset now that they can hear us and kind of adapt to us, and we could ping pong for their era and our era of Crips and Blood to make it work. And the reason why I want to double back to why it didn't work in the 92, 93 Rodney King thing era, even though dudes performed it and tried to make it go in watts in certain areas, pushed it longer than other areas, is because when that happened and dudes wanted to push that original origins of community-based black, let's push, it happened at a bad time, homie. You know, it was still uproar of Crippin' Blood violence, you know, going back to us not being that deep. So every homie that got killed from a blood hood, it affected us and made us want to ride. You know, we was holding everybody accountable for this bloodism and for homies putting it down for their turfs, homie. You know, we was sharing war stories back then, and if niggas' hoods stories wasn't adding up, y'all was inactive. We was inactive to one another. So with that being in place, with the trying to go back to the original origins, when that happened to Rodney King, it couldn't happen because a lot of us was in the process of getting our licks back from one another because somebody got killed, somebody got busted on, somebody family member passed. So when that peace happened, that tried to go around the natural origins, a lot of hoods wasn't in cooperation with that, homie, because like I said, Crips was in the midst of getting their licks back with one another, and Bloods was in the process of getting our licks back with the Crips, homie, in a lot of pockets and communities of Los Angeles. So that was another reason why it didn't work, because we was in the process of getting our licks back, and the generation of minds, our voices were still young boy voices in a lot of our church, even though a lot of homies value the work we contribute. Our voices really didn't hold a lot of weight like today time, homie. And so now from the older senior homies feeling this type of way right now, they should be in a transition they feelings to the dudes of my era that's Crippin' and Blood, and so we can hit the last piece of the last butt of the end of the last rider generation that fell up under us, that's at that damn near 40 mark almost, hit them with what we trying to do, for they can hit the last butt end pieces of them, of the young riders of today time, and value them, homie. Because a lot of homies looked at us like young niggas go get cracking, but a lot of G homies valued us at a young age, which made us grow up mentally, because they involved us in things. Whether if they was wrong or right, they asked us our opinion, asked us our feelings about something. So we got to get the generation, get at us, to get at the last butt up under us and let them grab the last piece under them, and get the last young riders together that's Crippin' and Blood, and get at them, homie, and let them know, homie, we're counting on them, homie. You know, we can't go nowhere without them, homie. Plead with them and bag and plead with them, homie. Can they kind of please do us a favor? And we can't look at that please like some sucker stuff, some soft stuff, because that's war. That's what we do with one another when we need favors as soldiers, and we all soldiers, we ask, man, can you please get at a pass, spare that for me, do that for me. That's what we should be trying to tell this last younger generation of the Crips and Bloods. Can y'all please grant us a favor of a few generation of G's? We asking y'all to grant us something. Grant us a month or something, 30 days or something. So that's just my narrative and my little spiel on how I can work by including the last butt of the younger generation of the Crips and Bloods. And pack a haul with them, homie. Because dudes of my era and dudes over me and then senior homies, we done all got our licks back, basically, homie. From, we done bust on each other, shot each other up. A lot of our friends then downed each other. They're not here no more. Homies in the penitentiary trying to come home. So we done got our licks back. We done kind of got our feelings out on each other. So it's the last butt end of the young homeboys that we asking to grant us some action at a ceasefire. At a ceasefire, homie. Not only would it help us, but it'll help the younger generation of the community for summertime. And like I heard on another platform, colors ain't just for Crips and Bloods no more, red and blue. Crips wear red, Bloods wear a little blue. And back in my time, anybody that wore cherry, you automatically thought they was a homie. And anybody that wore blue back then, you thought they was a homie. That, of the Crip banner. So now everybody wear these colors. So we got to be more visual of the communities and the surrounding areas that we in, homie. So when we do these type things and different platforms speak on these type of collaborations of a ceasefire, of dudes getting along and kind of like, coexisting with one another, you know what I'm saying? We gotta all work together to make these things happen. Can't just be one pocket of dudes talking about this without including this other pocket. Because when we start doing that, we pulling segregation, and then we make everybody feel hostile because everybody ain't included on the change, homie. So 89 on up, G stuff, not ye stuff. And let's include every generation on the change that's going to help everybody, not just us, but our community and civilians of all ethnicities, homie. With that being said, I'm out, and that's just my narrative on why it didn't happen in my time and why it's a better chance of happening now. And plus, the young homies got more of a voice than we had then, homie. We couldn't backtalk the big homies. We couldn't do this. So now with all generations being wiser now, more mature now, we should be able to have a better dialogue with the younger generation, letting them know what we expect and be open to let them know what they expect out of us, homie. And I'm out, man. And that's one for us to conversate on, man. So drop a comment and let's politic about it. I'm out.